Yeah, so BazAR is a atomic asset marketplace. It allows you to trade digital content trustlessly on the permaweb. And atomic assets are different than traditional NFTs. Like we all know NFTs, they're definitely had a big craze the last few years. And one thing that we all have learned with NFTs is that many times the token address is the only thing that you're really trading. And with an NFT, you are trading a token address in a smart contract, which is stored on chain, but it has a metadata that's pointing to the artwork, the files that are stored most likely on a centralized storage network. And as we've seen, artwork disappears. It can be deleted, lack of payment for storage, and infrastructure failures leading to missing data. So atomic assets is something that has been around in the ecosystem in Arweave for a few years now, and it's a different concept where the art, metadata, and logic is all in one single Arweave transaction. So it's always going to be accessible through that one TX ID. And also with a new licensing system, the UDL, the Universal Data License, you can attach licensing rights right to the TX, or right to the atomic asset there. So I'm sure a lot of people are asking, like, why do we need another NFT marketplace? Because like NFTs are not what they like. It was kind of I'd say flash in the pan a bit in 2021. It was big craze, and now a lot of creators aren't really super into NFTs. So I'd say that BazAR though takes a different approach in that we don't look at ourselves as an NFT. We're not looking at the platform as an NFT marketplace, but more like it's more like an engine that's supporting this new ecosystem that's being built on the permaweb. And this decentralized media ecosystem, which I believe was coined by the Odyssey team when they were talking about bringing their Odyssey platform onto the permaweb. And so with this decentralized media ecosystem, you have user applications that are built on top of Arweave, and they're essentially just UIs for this Arweave data that can be used in different applications. And for example, here, this Odyssey platform was used for video data, and then the recently released Portal platform would be for writing and more like blog content. And then there's going to be other user interfaces. A couple of the talks today talked about building out user interfaces for atomic assets. So we see BazAR as more of a monetization layer for this permaweb media ecosystem. And with BazAR, it's built on top of a trustless protocol, the universal content marketplace. So anyone can build out a different UI for BazAR, and they can build out a different UI, I guess, for the UCM protocol, I'd say, and it can be used in their application. So BazAR is very flexible in that sense. And so we've been quiet these past few months because we've been shipping these infrastructure updates to make it so that BazAR can be able to scale to support this decentralized media ecosystem. And so just to give context, our old architecture for BazAR, if someone were to upload an asset, you would upload it and you would list it for sale on this global UCM order book. And with that, there's a lot of bottlenecks that come about. When an asset is getting traded a lot, then every single asset that's being traded on this order book would then slow down because it's only one AO process. And so we learned pretty quickly that we have to do something different if we want to scale to be able to support a whole ecosystem of user applications. So we thought that we had to bring sort of, I guess, like the AO approach to the app level. The way AO scales compute in a horizontal way compared to other compute networks, we wanted to use that same approach, I'd say, for BazAR. And that's where we started creating this new architecture for micro-order books, where now when a creator were to list an asset for sale, the asset gets its own AO process just for that asset, and it's not connected to all the others, so you won't have to worry about it slowing down due to bottlenecks. But I think that this architecture is something that any user application can use to be able to scale their platform. They can just spin up all these processes and sub-processes that can then be able to run in parallel and not have to wait in one single queue. So I think that that's really important for the user app experience to be able to scale horizontally like this. And we quietly shipped this a couple weeks ago, and a lot of the creators have had great experiences listing assets for sale and be able to trade very seamlessly. And also another big update that we've been working on is fetching state directly from Hyperbeam, where this makes our platform just run much more efficiently. And we've been very fortunate to be able to work so closely with the AO core team and be able to actually test this stuff out as it was being developed. And so to be able to not do any more dry runs and be able to fetch state directly from Hyperbeam has been a huge unlock. And so for how that would work with us right now, for BazAR right now, would be that these processes over here, we no longer have to do any dry runs. We can access the state directly through these URLs, like these Hyperbeam state right here. And with that, the platform can run much more efficiently. And since this is so early and we're experimenting with this, we've been putting together ecosystem developer tools that can help other creators or other developers that are building out user applications as well. And so, yeah, what's next for us right now? So big thing that BazAR is in a more stable state right now, but now we need to start bringing the user experience up and create a better user experience and also composability across applications. Because if you have this decentralized media ecosystem, you have to be able to communicate together, and having a profile that can do that is important. So we've been working on this AO profile, which is it's a AO process which can have all the metadata for an application and any of its associated data, like if it owns any assets, and then it can be connected into any other application. And we've also been working together with other teams in the ecosystem, with the REO team, to use a ArNS primary name and find ways to integrate there, because we believe that if the ecosystem is going to grow and be able to have more a smoother user experience, we have to have a naming system and profiles that would work all together there. So that's something that we've been experimenting with and we're going to continue to work on. And also just overall, just ecosystem tooling, because I feel like BazAR is more than just an NFT platform, and that it can be the engine for other creators and other builders to build on top of. They can use these tools to build into their user applications and be able to test out these different these different tools here. And so we've been working on this library together with teams in the ecosystem called Permaweb-libs. It's a SDK that you can integrate into your application, and we also are just looking for feedback on best ways to integrate atomic assets, collections, profiles, and also different entities that we're calling zones. And I think it's very important that we find ways to work together and give feedback and see what the best ways are to integrate in the ecosystem, because now the infrastructure is getting to a stable state with AO and Hyperbeam, and it's now time to bring in more consumer apps and more users and build out a smoother user experience. So thank you. That's kind of just all the updates I just want to give on BazAR there, and thank you.